Well, hello and welcome once again to the DCL podcast, where we're inviting you to sit back, relax, and we'll be on our way shortly. Well, welcome back to the DCL podcast, your podcast helping your family cruise a little smarter. And it's just me tonight. Christy is on the dream. Chris is winging his way across the country after spending some time in beautiful New Jersey. But it's super fun to bring back guests who have been on the show before, and it's excited to hear about their experiences as Disney Cruise Line started sailing again. And a long-time listener, I'm excited to bring him back all the way down in Tampa. How you doing tonight, Chris?
Doing well. How are you?
Not too bad. And before we jump into it, we have to talk about some football because
we do. Yes, we do. Yes, we
I know that. Yeah, but see, when it's me by myself, I could talk about some football and everything like that. Because with Chris and Christy, they kind of roll their eyes and everything like that. But Tom Brady came back to your Bucs.
Yes, sir. Yes,
What's
sir.
Up
so
with that?
I'm very excited. So the last time I was on, we talked about how I had a 7-night booked, and it was going to be over the Super Bowl. And I said I want to see the Bucs win the Super Bowl. If we would have sailed, I would have saw the Bucs win the Super Bowl on the fantasy, but unfortunately that one got canceled. That was our Star Wars Day that got canceled. But yeah, I would have saw it there. That would have been magical. But regardless, it was great to be home and hanging out with everyone and seeing it here. Yep, we're back for another one. Going to try to run it back and do it again. So we'll see what happens.
Okay, I got to say, how cool would that be? I mean, okay, you're with your friends, family, and everything like that, celebrating the Super Bowl win. That's exciting. But how cool would that have been to have been watching it on the funnel vision, watching your Bucs win as you're sailing on the Disney Fantasy?
It would be better than watching what I watched. I think it was like the Eagles and the Cardinals on Monday Night Football. It was much better than that. Trust me, that I watched this past one.
So, I don't even know where to go with this as far as Tom coming back. But I read a pretty good article about as far as people, coming back. They can't kind of, put things away and just retire and everything like that. But go ahead.
I was just saying, he's just the ultimate competitor. And it was weird that no one expected it after the playoff loss to the Rams, that something like that was going to happen. It wasn't even, no one was talking about it at all going into that playoff game. Even at the end of the season, there was no talk about it. And then right after the game is when it came out and everyone was talking. We were all, especially down here, we're all taken aback. We're like, what, really? But I mean, you understand his age and stuff like that, but the guy is he's just built different. And then anyway, I don't think he's human. So it was just odd to just go out like that. You'd think there'd be a little more of a show or, a little bit of a curtain call or something like that than just for the greatest of all time. It didn't seem right. So.
I mean, the playoffs this year were just amazing.
They were so good.
Even out of the Super Bowl. So Anawik and I were down, getting ready to sail on the Wonder out of New Orleans.
Okay,
so we went to dinner. We listened to the second. We watched the second half down there, and I felt bad because everybody in New Orleans they were all pulling for the Bengals because of their quarterback went to LSU.
Oh yeah.
So we're all Bengals fans. So like the Bengals went up, and it looked like it was going to end up. They were going to walk away with it, and then the Rams come back at the last minute.
Yeah, it was like a David and Goliath kind of story there with them. It was really cool to see. I mean, a team that was picking first overall 2 years ago in 2020, and now this year here you are in the Super Bowl. It's crazy how 1 or 2 years everything can change in that league. Unlike, it's kind of like basketball. I always feel like in basketball it's the same teams over and over and over and over and over again. Football, it's any given Sunday. It's any year someone else is going to be in the Super Bowl. That's why the Brady thing is so. It's never been done before. It's insane because that never happens. 7 Super Bowls. Who does that? It's crazy.
Yeah. Now that we've lost half our listeners, we'll try some Disney Cruise Line stuff. So welcome back to the show, Chris. You and your family, we're going to talk about your 7-night cruise on the beautiful Disney Fantasy. But you kind of reminded me before we jumped on that you guys were one of the last to set sail before the cruise line shut down back in February.
Yeah, we were. We were on February 24th to the 28th of 2020. We did a 4-night Bahamian. Yeah, I remember, questionnaires asking us if we've sailed through China or if we've traveled through China on the way here. And, there was all these little rumblings and stuff that was going on. So it's like, you definitely knew something was coming, but I don't think any of us first saw what actually happened as a result of all that. So it was just great to be back on board this time.
Definitely. Nobody saw that, year and a half shutdown as far as the cruise line industry went. And so then you guys find yourself this past Christmas time on a Very Merrtime cruise, 7-night on the Fantasy. When did you guys book this? Did you guys, because we had total FOMO. I'm going to completely admit this. We had total FOMO. We saw people getting out there sailing. So Hanaway and I jumped on and booked a sailing on the Wonder out of San Diego. Did you guys do the same thing, or was this something that you guys had booked ahead of time?
Yeah. So we had I mean, I think it was right after we got off the one in 2020, we went and we knew always want to do a 7-night. So we just went for it and we booked a 7-night. We had a Star Wars Day at Sea booked for February of 2021. And naturally that got canceled. So right when we knew, it was getting canceled, we decided to switch it over. We did it for December of 2021 to do a Merrytime, hoping that, we can go and do it. So we just transferred that over. And then it was about in October, I believe it was, a Florida resident rate came out for that cruise as well. So we were able to even keep our room. I mean, we were 7582, we were midship, a 5C. We were able to keep our room and basically get $1,800 refunded back to us in a Florida resident deal, because there were such good rates of them trying to pull, because not many people were wanting to fly down to Florida at that time and then go through the testing and get denied. So they're really trying to pull in Florida residents. So that's one of the super awesome perks of living down here is, being able to drive 3 hours over and, get on a ship. And if God forbid you were to, test positive, I mean, it's not the end of the world. It's not like we had a plane and packed everything up and had to get rental cars, all this stuff. We could just drive right home.
Oh, definitely. Well, so this cruise left out of Port Canaveral, 7 nights, stopped at Tortola, St. Thomas, and then you get a day at Castaway Cay and 2 sea days, three sea days. Right?
3 sea days. Yeah. 2 in the beginning, and then got to Tortola, St. Thomas, and another sea day.
Oh,
fantastic.
that leaving Port Canaveral, having 2 sea days just to relax and enjoy the ship is amazing, isn't it?
It is. I don't know. It really lets you unwind instead of just stopping at a port first, being on, doing the 2 Bahamian ones, the 4 nights we did beforehand. We were always stopping at Nassau on the first day and then going to Castaway and then having a sea day at the end. So to have the 2 in the beginning to kind of relax was just like, it was just relaxation. And then with the cruise, the ship only being half full. I mean, it didn't feel like it was like overly crowded, but it didn't feel like there wasn't anyone on there. It was a good mix, but it was very relaxing to say the least. It wasn't overcrowded. Couldn't find a place to sit. Every time you went up on the pool, there's always places to sit. And it was just very, very, very relaxing for 2 sea days.
Remind everybody, so you are a family of 3, kind of remind everybody who sailed with you this time.
Sure. Yeah. It was me, my wife, Kimberly, and my daughter, Brooklyn. She's 7. She's been on the last 2 with us and was awesome. And this was no different. It was even better. It just keeps getting better the older she gets. So it was perfect.
So you're a Silver Castaway Club member. You get the Florida residency rate where you save some money and everything like that. Were you able to get the things, or did you guys book anything ahead of time? And one of the big things was, and I think it's obviously changing now because you no longer have to make reservations for the kids clubs. Was that something that you were able to do ahead of time?
Yeah, you could book it. We didn't book kids clubs. Brooklyn likes to stay with us. She's super attached to us and likes to do everything with us. We were able to, book tastings. I booked a beer tasting again. And then we booked a couple shore excursions and stuff like that for each port.
The last time we talked, I know that generally you guys just drive over the day of the sailing. Did you guys do the same thing this time?
Yep. Same thing. It's one of the major conveniences of being here, and why, we felt in 2021 being able to go and take one, even with a kid and stuff, is just the convenience of being able to drive over there. And, if something were to happen, it would, we had to test Brooklyn. Our daughter had to be tested before we went, since she wasn't vaccinated at the time. So she had to be tested. I think it was 2 days beforehand, 2 or 3 days beforehand. So we went to like a CVS and did it. We had home tests as well. So we were the super paranoid, the morning of, or, testing ourselves before we even drive over there, just so we're hopefully not surprised when we get there, so. Yeah,
don't feel bad about that. We've got some like in the hole already.
Oh yeah.
We're getting on a plane. We're getting on a plane on Friday to head down to San Diego. We're all going to test before we get on that plane.
Absolutely.
Just to make sure.
It's better to test than to not know and be surprised.
Definitely. All right. So you guys get over to Port Canaveral. We will get into some of the testing procedures or anything like that. I think we've covered that ad nauseum, but and everything like that. But what was it like to get on? It's the first time on the Fantasy, a little bit a different ship that you guys have sailed on. You've gone on a 7-day cruise. It's a very Merrytime cruise. What was that moment like for you and your family to step on board the ship?
It was awesome. I got to tell you, I really liked the welcome show that they did. I mean, your port arrival time's 10:45, and even with everything, we were on the ship by noon. And then to walk on, and they set you over to your spot, and you got Mickey and Minnie waving to you guys and stuff like that. And it's just, I don't know, I really like that. I know I heard they kind of stopped it right now doing that, but that was, I don't know, I just felt like that was something that was really, really cool. And the muster drill, if they get rid of this new way of doing it, it's good. It was fantastic how easy that was. And instead of waiting until after 4:00 when you do that whole thing, standing in the sweaty sun, shoulder to shoulder, you're waiting for your vacation to start right there, right after you did that atrium show. You went and took that picture, and then boom, I was able to instantly relax. I mean, I threw my bathing suit. I just did the aqueduct first thing. I was like, I'm just going on it just because it was like a relief. So I went, did that, and I had lunch at Animators, and it's such a good way to start your vacation, to not have to, you get on, but then you got to wait 4 hours because there's this thing you have to go do. That's just, when you get your kids going and you're all excited and then you got to stop to go and do something, it always usually would put a damper on it, but this was completely different.
Yeah, I can't imagine. I think there'll be a riot from all our seats.
You ain't kidding. You're not kidding.
If they try to put us back out there on deck 4 or whatever.
Absolutely.
Deck, yep. Standing there in the sun, waiting for the stateroom 3033 or something like that.
Yes.
Show up.
Yeah, you're right.
All right. So you guys went to Animators Palette. Do you like that better than going to
Tradition?
Cabanas,
Absolutely. I know everyone loves Cabanas. There's something about just sitting down. You have bags and stuff. I don't have to, especially with a child and stuff, like, where you have to set things down and then get up and, who's going to sit at the table while we go and get the food for each other. Like, it's so much better. Just sit down, order, get the drink of the day brought to you. And just like, I don't know, it's relaxing. It's something we've done since our first one. And it's something we continue to do each time. And we just find it very relaxing.
So I think I'm joining your crowd because we did that on the last one on the Wonder. We ended up meeting up with our friends, the Bragas, and we had lunch down in Triton's beforehand instead of going up to Cabanas. And like you said, it's really quick and it's a much more relaxed atmosphere. And especially if you have kids and once the ships start, becoming full capacity again, it gets to be a little more crazy up at Cabanas where you're trying to find a table and everything like that. I totally agree with you there.
Yep.
So, okay, 2 questions for you here. One, I know you didn't do, or Brooklyn didn't do the kids clubs. Do you guys ever go down to the kids clubs? Like even like, to
walk around and look at, especially the open house and stuff. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Just to see like, hey, do you want to go and do this? And usually, things, it's cool and everything, but no, I want to be with mom and dad. So, okay. But we definitely do like to go down and take a look and see the new things, especially being on the fantasy. We've only done the dream. So to go on the fantasy and, see the different Marvel area they have there and stuff, it was pretty awesome.
And they have the Star Wars stuff down. Well, they have the Star Wars on both of them.
Yeah, they have it on both of them. Yeah, but I didn't recall seeing like they have this superhero academy or they have something. I don't know if it's superhero academy, but they had something where it was like Black Panther's mask was there, and you could see like all the different, the Tesseract or whatever it was, and they had all cool artifacts and stuff that was Marvel that I really enjoyed.
So we were talking about this earlier. I mean, I get to see what you think about this. I think, okay, in Disneyland, they have the sword from the Sword of the Sorcerers, where you can go up and try and pull this right next to King Arthur's carousel, and you can't pull it out of the rock or out of the stone, right.
Exactly.
I think they need to step at that with Marvel and get Thor's hammer out there and see
that would be awesome. That would be completely awesome. Absolutely. Why not? No, I'm completely with you. I'm sold on that. Absolutely. You gotta have something like that.
Go ahead.
No, I was just saying it would just be you. It just seemed the line of people and the little kids trying to pull on it and stuff. And then if the one were to actually, if it were to somehow, even if it didn't just come loose, but it like lit up or did like it starts rumbling or just does something kind of cool, I don't know, the expression on the children's face probably would just it'd be awesome.
Oh yeah. I mean, I think with the Marvel restaurant coming on the Wish, I think that would be super cool to
absolutely
have something like
absolutely.
that as you walk into the restaurant or something.
Yeah, you get a picture with it. As you go in, there's a picture and you're all pulling on it, trying to get it loose. I think that'd be so cool.
Yeah, and your 3-year-old's picking it up. That would be awesome.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. The other question I've got. So you went on the aqueduct on the fantasy. What are your thoughts about the aqueduct? And then kind of, we're going to jump around to some different topics, but with the Wish coming with the new ride on the Wish, right? Are you excited about that?
I am. I like the show elements to it. Just seem kind of cool. Anytime you can get, I don't know, any more immersion. I mean, it's funny to say on a Disney, you want more immersion because you always have all like between the characters and the music and everything going on. But I don't know. I just think it's super cool. The screens that are going to be on there and the effects. For a water ride at sea to me is just, everyone, when it was Carnival had like the roller coaster and everyone's like going crazy about a roller coaster. But this, you have all different elements. It's not just a water slide. It's an actual, basically like an attraction too. I think it's fantastic. I can't wait to go on it.
Yeah, it's kind of a story, and they're going to be able to change the story too. Depending on,
it's great.
Maybe like each day it's a different story.
That would be so cool. Yeah.
We'll find out here soon. Okay, here's the other question I've got for you. Disney Dream, the Disney Fantasy, very similar sister ships and everything like that. Right. What was your take of the Disney Fantasy overall? Spending time on it for 7 days. How did it compare to the Dream? Any thoughts and differences?
Yeah, it was great going on. Obviously, being on the Dream, when you get on the Fantasy, it's kind of the same layout. So you still feel comfortable going where you're going, but it's cool to go in a corner and be like, oh, this is different. Like, the whole, what was the district on the Dream is La Piazza, I think, or something on the Fantasy. Yep. And the theming in there was fantastic. I loved that area kind of more than I did on the Dream. I thought it was great. I love, the carousel bar in the middle, it's almost like you're walking down a little cobblestone street when you go by the like where the champagne bar and stuff. I finding the little different changes, even, going into the atrium, where instead of it being like blue and red, it was like kind of green and pink and blue. It was a little bit lighter and stuff. I don't know. It's just seeing the little differences. I thought it was great. The Sweet Onion shop was adorable as well. I really liked that. My daughter's so into those types of characters, like the Mickey and Minnie's Runaway, like that sort of the way they make them on there. It's like the same kind of, I don't know how to say it, the same style of character as what's in there, a little different. So I don't know. She loved it. I loved it. We all thought it was great.
I love the little scooter in La Piazza. It's kind of there.
Yes. We sat on it and it lights up a little bit. It makes it, it was really cool.
Yeah. And the license plate, I can't remember what the number of the ship was for the Fantasy, but the license plate is the number of the ship. Before they named the ship, you give it a number over in Papenburg, and that was the Fantasy ship. And I can't,
because the Dream was 687, because that's where Pub 687 comes from, right?
Right. So I've got it in my phone. I can look it up right now, but I'll try and see if I can find it before we get done talking here. But all right, so you guys are a family of 3. What type of stateroom do you guys? Now this is your 3rd cruise. What type of stateroom do you guys like? What's your kind of go-to stateroom now?
It's a veranda. I mean, now even more. I mean, it was always a veranda beforehand, just because we love having that space just to sit outside, and it became even evident this time. I mean, it's a ritual. We get, we have coffee come early in the morning, and we just sit out there and just sip coffee and have some pastries before we actually go to breakfast. But just having that outdoor space is great for us. We love to do that. And then especially this time, pulling into port each morning before Brooklyn got up, my wife and I would just sit out there and, have our own coffee and take pictures, watch the sun come up especially down there, there's like mountains coming out. It was just, I can never go back. I don't think I could ever, even just doing a 3, and I don't think I could do an ocean. I think I have to have a veranda. It's a must.
There's something about opening up those curtains, even if your kids are still asleep, and walking out on the veranda to see where you are in the morning. I love that.
I do too. Yeah. When she woke up the one morning, I think it was in Tortola, and she looked out the window and she's like, where? She was just completely blown away, because it's different than pulling into, Nassau or pulling into, Castaway. It's still kind of flat, but here it's like you're looking straight on at a mountain, cars going up, a hill. It's like, it was just being in another world. It was pretty awesome.
Yeah. Tortola, especially with those mountains right there too.
Oh,
so I got to ask you, does Brooklyn sleep in the bunk bed? Did they put the bunk bed down?
Each one that we have, it never had the pull down. Okay. It was just be the couch that converts. So she would just sleep on that. They would make the bed up every night for her.
Okay. That's the battle you don't have to deal with the rest of us that have 2 kids.
Yeah. Who wants to sleep up top? I'm sure.
It used to be like when our kids are smaller, they were like battling who gets to sleep on top. And now it's like battling who gets to sleep on the bottom.
Yeah. Right. Funny how that works.
As they get older. So, yeah. All right. Let's talk about food, dining, similar. It's the same 3 restaurants on the Fantasy and the Dream and everything like that. But what do you guys like? What do you guys enjoy? Do you guys like the early dining or the late dining?
Yeah. Early dining. Absolutely. We love. I don't know. It's just something about, especially with the sun going down and stuff. And we like to go get a nice, we always go to Bon Voyage each night before dinner, and we grab a cocktail or something beforehand and go walk out on deck for a few minutes and watch the sun just kind of setting, or it's a nice vibe before you go into dinner and stuff. So we like to do that. And early dining, I don't think, if it was just me and my wife, we'd probably do the late one, but especially with a child, early dining is where it's at.
What would Brooklyn, if she was here tonight, what would she say is her favorite restaurant and why?
Probably Animator's Palette, because she probably likes to watch us cringe as mommy and daddy hope to God crushes on coming over to talk to us or make us stand up and dance or do something crazy. I love the theming, don't get me wrong, but man, I want to relax, and I don't really relax when I'm there. When I hear him talking, I'm like, oh God, he's going to come and talk to me and make me wave my hands in there, do something silly. So I'll obviously do it for her, but man, yeah, she loves that one for sure.
You and I are one and the same. It's like I'm like watching the screen. I'm like, oh, good, it's going to the table over there.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. I got to get up and go to the bathroom real quick. He's getting close.
I know. Look at that, honey. You take care of it.
That happened on our second one. It's funny you should say that because on our second, the last one we did, and I got to go to the bathroom. It wasn't like I knew he was coming, but yeah, he went to the table and talked, and she's like, "You left me here," and he came and talked. It was like perfect. That's perfect.
You heard about that for the rest of the cruise, didn't you?
Absolutely. Yep.
Okay, how about you? What's your favorite restaurant?
Enchanted Garden.
Okay, really?
I remember,
why?
I'm a seafood guy, so the ahi tuna, avocado tower, I love. The sea bass, my wife and I both rave over. Same with the scallops, we love. Everything there. As much, if I wasn't a seafood person, I wouldn't like it, but because of that, the ahi tuna and avocado tower is just my all-time favorite appetizer. And my wife's, it's her favorite's the sea bass, as is mine with the scallops. I love it. Yeah, and I like the theming of it. The theming of it's fantastic. Like walking in, it's gorgeous. You got the water fountain in the middle, and it changes throughout your meal. It's just the whole vibe, the ambiance in there. It's great. It was a little weird, when the characters they come through and they dance around and they do like a little thing, which it's great. I love seeing that. Anytime you can add characters, I'm all for it. But it was just like, I don't know. It would have been cool if you had like an Alice and a Mad Hatter or someone come walking through, then just Mickey, Minnie, Goofy, and
with the themey, Alice and the Mad Hatter would definitely fit a little bit more, wouldn't they? Or even Mary Poppins or something like that.
Yeah, something like that would be great. But I mean, anytime, like I said, I'm not complaining at all that they do that. I love that they add it, and our waitress was great. She pulled Brooklyn over and put a seat specifically where the cut through so she could see the show better, because we had like a little wall where it would be hard for her to see. So they took care of her and pushed her over to the side a little bit and gave her a nice perfect shot to see all the characters. So that was awesome.
I love hearing stories like that, because the cast members are just amazing, and noticing that she's a little bit shorter. I'm not saying she's shorter in general. I'm just saying child, right? She's 7,
absolutely,
right?
Absolutely.
So she's able to, be able to see and catch that show. I love those little touches.
I do too. And it wasn't like I saw them do it with everyone, which I'm not saying they wouldn't help out, but it was just like that she took that initiative, and our serving team was just fantastic, and Brooklyn loved them so much. And, they were over and above just great. And even like, we're out I'm walking on the pool deck and I see them and they just ask us about our day and stuff. And, it's like, you see people so many times, you're always turning boats over and stuff like that. So, to still have the time to recognize, say hi, talk about your day, remind you what you're having tonight and what's coming up, what you're looking forward to and stuff like that. I don't know. It's awesome. I don't think you get that anywhere else.
That's just amazing. I'm glad you guys had that experiences as well. And it may be just you and I, if they ever decide to do away with one of the restaurants of the dream and the fantasy, it might be just you and I over in front of DCL headquarters, like, do not get away. do not do away with Enchanted Garden.
Nope. Please don't. I love it.
Crush needs to go.
Please retheme it. Do something. Because I was glad we had Pirate Night in Ann Mayer's Palette, which I've never had before, which I've always wanted. So to have, the screens all themed to, different pirate visuals on there and stuff. I love that, because you don't get that in other restaurants. It's just regular theming, but to be an Animator's Palette with all that around, it just adds a little something to that.
That's a neat way that they're able to take advantage of that and everything like that. And any hate mail as far as Animator's Palette, you can send it to me, Steve at DCL. Don't send it to Chris.
No, please.
All right. Let's talk about some of the things you guys get to do. This is a very Merrytime cruise.
Yes.
I know our family, when we went on ours in November, our plan was to get some Christmas pictures so that we could send out for at Christmas time and everything like that. What were some of the things that you guys are excited to do on this Very Merrytime cruise, and kind of talk about some of the things you got to do?
It was fun. So we went in, we knew what it was before. And I knew, obviously, with the situation of the world and with how things are restarting, I knew you're not going to get that full experience. So I wasn't going in no way, shape, or form was I disappointed. I understood it. We understood it. We've never done one before either. So this is kind of our first time doing it. So it was cool. Santa was in the lobby and Brooklyn was able to go in like her Christmas pajamas, get a picture with him. And, we used that as like a Christmas photo and stuff like that. That was great. Story time with Mrs. Claus, they did in the D Lounge. It was great. I loved it. It's just, they had it at odd times. There was like one morning they did it like 8:30 in the morning on like day 2. And then the only other time you could do it was the same time, 8:30 in the morning on day 6. So vacation, you're getting up, 8:30 with kids and stuff. You're getting up fairly early to get ready and everything like that, get breakfast done to go to do something like that. They weren't full at all. The D lounge, there wasn't many people in there at either ones that we saw. We did the one on day 2, but it was great. Mrs. Claus comes out, reads some stories. And then at the end, they had Goofy and Pluto come as well. And you could take a selfie while they stood on stage. You could take a picture with them. And they were in like some holiday outfits and stuff like that. So that was cool. A lot of the characters in the atrium all dressed up, in their different holiday outfits, multiple different ones that they wore different days. Something my wife and I really enjoyed was at Bon Voyage. I think it was only one night we saw it because we were keeping an eye out for it. They had holiday mulled wine, which was really cool. We were able to get that before we went into the D lounge for one of the nighttime entertainment things, and got to sip on that a little bit. And that's great. It gets a nice little, even though it wasn't real cold out, it was nice to have a little warm mulled wine. It was great.
We had that in Alaska, and we also had it in Norway. So two kind of cold weather experiences. And actually the funny thing is we got it was like pouring down rain and freezing cold. And my kids were in the pool one time with me, and the kids were in the pool with my wife one time. But I've never heard about it being on board before after that. And so that is so cool that you guys get to have that, because we did not have that on our sailing.
Yeah, we thought for sure we weren't going to get it. We were keeping an eye on it. Each night we would walk by and we knew there'd be like a little sign up from what we've seen on prior cruises and stuff. And then the one night after dinner, we walked by and we saw it. We're like, oh, perfect. Let's grab it. And yeah, they gave it up. It was delicious. It was great.
Oh, it's good stuff. So,
oh yeah, for sure.
I think it's a one-off year. I don't know any better than you do, Chris, but I think next year it's probably going to be a little bit different experiences for the Halloween of the High Seas and the Very Merrtime cruises. But I know that our family just appreciated just the overall atmosphere and everything like that. And how cool is that for you to be able to get those pictures of Brooklyn?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And so
and the decorations, the tree and the garland and the lights, it's absolutely, it's gorgeous. It's so gorgeous to walk in there as your first time back, it's been almost 2 years, getting on one, and to go in and to see the Christmas decorations and stuff. And I wouldn't change a thing when it came to it. I thought it was great. Even like I said, we never been on one, so it's not like we were going in with real expectations of what we were looking for, but we knew of certain things, and we were just, anything was good for us, anything at all.
I hear you there. Okay. So what were some of the other things that you guys enjoyed doing on board the ship? So you have 3 sea days, so a lot of time to spend on board, plus after your port excursions, everything like that. What were some of the fun things that you guys got to do? Did you spend time up at the pool deck, down in the D lounge, doing some of the game shows? What did you guys do?
Oh yes. Game shows. So last time I was on, we talked about how I'm very, very into the nighttime activities in the D lounge. To me, you can see a show and we talked about like Golden Mickey's seen it once. That's all you need, you go to see whatever show it could be with different people, how well do you know your child, and they're up on stage, 3 different groups of families and stuff. It's hilarious. And it's always a different experience. And, it's intimate. You're all sitting at a table around each other. So one sea day, it was actually in the Tube. I think it was Generation Quest that they wanted me. Oh yes. I volunteered. I had to lip sync 98 Degrees. We had to get down and do a dance battle, and I break dance. I kicked my flip flops off and tried flipping around. And it was, it was a little too early. I wish it was later in the day so I wouldn't have felt so or whatever. But yeah, it was, I didn't have much, adult beverages in me to actually not care. I was a little too worried about myself on that one, but it was great. And watching everyone laugh and stuff, my daughter just laughing her butt off at me again I will never do it again. That one, I'll do other game shows. That one, now that I know what it is, I've never done it before. I will not volunteer for that one again. But we went to, even on Pirate Night, they had a cool little pirate game show that they did inside D Lounge with 2 pirates, and they had the spinning wheel of death or something like that. And they all did different things. People got up and did stuff. And one night was Mickey Mouseketeer Madness or something like that, where he did different trivias and stuff. It was just every night in there's something different, and it's always going to be different because there's all different people that are interacting. So the shows are always different. I just see such good value, and I just love every night. Like, hey, what's going on in here tonight? And let's go. Cause it's great. There's bartenders in there that'll bring you drinks and stuff. And it's an all-in-one thing instead of just, you can't eat or drink at this time inside the theater. So the fact that we were able to order drinks and sit in here at night and hang out, it was, I don't know. I always recommend the lounge shows to everybody, because I feel like it's something like you should always see the Broadway shows if you can, or Broadway style shows, Beauty and the Beast, stuff like that. You should see it once, but man, give these things a try, because we do it every time. It's great.
Good on you for jumping in there and doing that for your daughter and everything like that too, to see you out there. Kind of watch dad kind of make a fool of himself a little bit, but
there's videos.
What's awesome is like, once you do that and you get out there and you're like, and I'm totally like, I'm the kind of person, like, I didn't really want to do that at first, but once you get out there and do that, you know, you get to interact with the other people on board the ship, and also the crew members and the cast members get to know you and everything like that. And the next thing you know, it completely changes how your cruise is, isn't it?
It really does. I remember my last one when I did, which they didn't have it on this one. I did the one, I can't remember what the name of it was, but there was diamonds. He had to run around, and Dopey was in there, and we had different teams. And I wound up kicked my shoes off there because we had to run around the D lounge. And they told me I lost my shoe, and they called me Cinderella. The rest of the cruise, the certain ones that saw me. So it was, it does. It adds another element when you do. If you just don't take yourself too serious, just get up there. It's all in fun. Everyone's here for fun anyways. So it's nothing really to be scared about, unless they want you to lip sync 98 degrees and break dance. It's
at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. It was about 10:30 in the morning. You're absolutely right.
Yeah. My son did Generation Quest, and he got up there, and I've got a video of him rapping "Happy Birthday."
Yeah. Yes. Yep. I wish I got that one. I didn't get. Someone else had to do that. They had to rap, and I had to do a lip sync. Yeah, I could have done "Happy Birthday" much better than me lip syncing 98 degrees for sure.
We'll get on you for doing that. Anything else on board that you want to touch about as experiences that you guys had?
Pirate Night, obviously, it was modified at this time, so there wasn't. You still had, there's something about the music that is always played in the hallways of, when you're walking around out of your room. I don't know. I'm a sucker for that. These little things I just love. So they still have the pirate music going, which I enjoy, just hearing that little fiddle or whatever it is that they're playing. I love hearing that. They gave you your bandanas when you sat down, but we brought some with us. They come through the room and through your dining room and stuff. And it was a bunch of pirates, and they were doing a little show and song and dance and stuff like that. That night we did holiday fireworks, which were cool. It was short, it was just a couple minutes or whatever. But again, I just appreciated the music, and, something more that was, I completely forgot when I was talking about the Merrytime was, they had the Christmas fireworks and stuff that night of Pirate Night, it was great. We absolutely loved it.
Did they have a Christmas show afterwards then too? Like kind of a dance party? Do you remember?
I don't remember. There was Christmas music playing, but it wasn't like people on stage putting on. I think they just played Christmas music kind of loud to kind of filter out the people and stuff like that. I don't recall. There wasn't anyone on stage.
Okay. Because we, on our 4-day, we didn't have a pirate night. Well, there was kind of a pirate night, but they really, the whole fireworks is all kind of Christmas centered. And then they had kind of a dance party afterwards and everything like that. So it's probably very depending on which cruise.
It might.
They were doing,
yeah.
So.
It was super cold and windy that night. I do remember it being very, very, very chilly and windy. The winds were howling that night. It was really, we almost thought they weren't going to do the fireworks, but they were able to do it, which was great.
Okay. So you guys get to go to Tortola, St. Thomas. Tortola being Chris's, he didn't realize how beautiful that island was. This is the first time for you guys for both of these islands?
Yeah, I've been to St. Thomas back when I was in high school. Okay. I went to St. Thomas with my parents on a Royal Caribbean cruise. Yeah, this was, I obviously see it differently now as an adult. I appreciate, and, it's not just going to an island with cool water, I can appreciate it more. So yeah, I would say technically, yes, it's both of ours. First time actually understanding it.
Okay. Well, let's start off with Tortola. What did you guys have planned? And obviously you had to book an excursion through Disney this time. So what did you guys have planned? What did you guys do?
We did the Island Drive and Beach Break. It was awesome. It's like $65 for adult, $55 for kids. It was supposed to take you to Sky World, where you get some views of the different surrounding islands and stuff like that. And then takes you down to Cane Garden Bay Beach. They didn't take us to Sky World. I'm not sure if it was COVID thing or what. We just drove around, but he did stop at certain areas and explain the island. Our tour guide was just fantastic. And you could tell they were appreciative and that they were just happy to have, customers back, people seeing their island, spending time on their island, spending money on their island. You could tell, I can't imagine what they've gone through when you depend so much on tourism and you haven't had it for so long, to see the genuine, they just wanted to show us everything. And even on our way back, like he drove us everywhere. He showed us different family plots of his, like he was showing us everything, showing us the government side, showing us everything. I think it took a little longer, but it was appreciative. Everyone enjoyed it. We all loved it. And King Garden Bay Beach was just, I always thought Labadee, Haiti was the place most beautiful place I've ever been to, but Tortola takes the cake for me right now. I absolutely thought it was just gorgeous. They had some little beach bars along there that we were able to, grab some drinks and stuff. And, we just spent about 2 hours there, and we had off and on rain, which actually added to the fun, because in the islands, those rain showers, they come and go so much, and it's only 5 minutes and then it's sunny again. So kind of like here in Florida. So the rain doesn't ruin anything. You just hide under, laugh a little bit, huddled under one little umbrella, the three of us, and then get back out to it,
How is the water there as far as like, is it pretty calm as far as like younger kids and stuff to be able to go out?
Absolutely. Absolutely. No real waves at all there. It was very calm. And with it being, surrounded, it's like a cove almost. So it was protected from winds and stuff, but it was great. I mean, I look to my right and I can see the top of the mountain, and you could see it's raining. You could just watch the wall of rain just coming down the mountain as it's coming to you. So it was a sight to see. I want to go back. I want to go back right now. We were just talking about, I want to go back.
So is that a place where you could snorkel, do you think, too? Or is that just more kind of a beach place?
I think it's more of a beach. There were a bunch of catamarans that were anchored out and stuff like that. I didn't really see anyone snorkeling. I mean, I'm sure you probably could, but they weren't like renting snorkel equipment or anything like that. I'm sure if you brought some, you could probably just swim around and snorkel, but there wasn't like designated areas or like a rental shop that I saw that was renting snorkel gear.
Okay. And so you talked about having drinks and everything like that. Did they have food there too for people?
At this one, I don't think, I take that back. They did, but you couldn't order it. It was weird. Like that place, you had to sit at the bar, or you had to sit at tables or at the bar.
Okay.
They weren't like handing out drinks or food for you to take onto the beach. I'm assuming to try to keep it clean. But at this particular spot I went to, there were tables and stuff where you could sit, but we were just trying to just get a couple drinks and just go, lay out and sit and enjoy the beach.
You make me want to go back. Tortola is such a beautiful place.
It really is. It truly is.
All right. So from there, you guys go on to St. Thomas, kind of a quick trip over there. The next day you get to spend time there. What do you guys have planned in St. Thomas?
St. Thomas, we did the ultimate island experience. That was fantastic. It takes you to mountaintop, which is basically at the top, one of the highest points, I guess. And you just look down at Magens Bay. You can see all the different islands like St. John and stuff around. They serve banana daiquiris there that I guess they're most famous for. So not like 9:30 a.m. having a nice banana daiquiri for breakfast was fantastic. We got to see real cool iguanas, massive iguanas that were just, if you looked right down into the palms below, they're all sitting in there hanging out. And so after you go to the mountaintop, where it's like a gift shop and stuff too. And like I said, they do the banana daiquiris, and then you could look out. Then they drove us down to Magens Bay, and that's probably the most beautiful beach. That's just incredible. And they have an awesome restaurant there that we were able to get food and drinks there. And it's cool. Both places served St. John Brewing, because I like local craft beers and stuff like that. And we originally wanted to go to St. John. We had it booked to do St. John on your own, but they canceled that obviously because going out, they want to keep you basically in kind of like a bubble and stuff like that. So if you were to go do St. John on your own, you'd just be let go. But there were some places in St. John, including St. John Brewers, that I wanted to try out and stuff. But they had their beers on there at both places we went to. So it was cool to get some local beers there. The BLTs were fantastic at the Magens Bay Beach Bar. Just fantastic. So good. And then, it was just not real waves, a little more waves than Cane Garden Bay at Tortola. There was some waves, but nothing. It's not like on the Atlantic or anything like that, or even the Gulf for that matter. Not much waves, just a little bit more.
So a perfect place for families to hang out and really enjoy their time in the water.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Like I said, I would book both of these and go back in a heartbeat. It wouldn't even be a question. If I could book it today, I'd do both of those over again. It was that good.
So that's kind of a question for you. I guess we didn't get to go down to Magens Bay. We did when we were on St. Thomas, my youngest and I, we went and did a zipline tour. And so we could look down, you could see the beach. It just looked incredible. And then all those big houses across there as well.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's crazy. Yeah.
I know. So if you guys went back to St. Thomas like tomorrow, would in non-COVID kind of times, everything like that, would you guys just to Magens Bay for the day?
I probably would. I don't know. The fact I've been wanting to go to St. John for so long, if I'm able to go there, I'd probably go there next. But if I were staying in St. Thomas, I would go to I would go back to Magens Bay in a heartbeat. And Brooklyn's just really into the beach right now. So her just throwing her goggles and just having an absolute ball at both places was just, looking for shells and swimming under the water and stuff, just doing all that, like just understanding how much she enjoys that. It's all the more reason why we would definitely do that again.
Oh man, I can't wait for you guys to get back there. So
I can't either.
well, then you guys get back on the ship, you get a day at sea, then you get to Castaway Key. How was it like getting back to Castaway Key after all this time off?
Oh man, it was great. And I was hoping for sure, because I know it was a little windy, and then we were coming in late. I don't think we didn't get there till, I think it was about 9:30. We didn't dock. So they said we're running late. So everyone's up. We're waiting to get into the virtual queue, because you had a virtual queue to order to get off at Castaway. And we all got on, and then they're like, oh, sorry, we got to cancel it here. Give it another half hour and then do it again at 9:00. So we were like, oh, okay. So then we had to wait till it was either 9 or 9:30 where we had to do it again. I mean, it goes quick. I'm interested to see, you'd probably know this. Is the aft open as well to go out, or is it just the midship gangway that's open at there? I can't remember, because the midship one was absolutely slam packed. There were people fighting because people were going down the elevators and then cutting everybody that was in line. And it was chaos when we went. So
when we were there, the fore and the aft were open.
Okay.
And I don't remember the midship, to be completely honest, because I remember because where the tree was there, you've got the Christmas tree and everything like that.
Right.
Into the back end, we went out the fore part, but we didn't go out until a little bit later in the morning. So
okay, yeah.
So we didn't have that problem that you guys had.
Right. I wasn't sure if I couldn't remember if the aft was open when we went, or not, if it was just the mid. And we'll be going on another one here soon. I'm looking forward to seeing how it is. But it was that was the only hiccup, or the only kind of thing where it was like, wow, people were getting a little upset with each other because, they didn't shut down the elevators. We got to let people still get on the elevator, especially with like wheelchairs and stuff like that. But you have a log jam going 2 decks up, and everyone's getting down there through the elevator, then cutting in. So it got a little hairy there for a little bit. Cast members were great though, trying to keep everyone good. And then just getting off and seeing that awesome Christmas tree, and, the sand snowman, and the decorations on Castaway. And, we're what, 5-6 days till Christmas, and I'm, walking on Castaway Key. It was almost surreal. It was so cool.
Do you guys walk out there, or do you guys take the tram?
So this is the first time we walked. We usually always took the tram, just because her now being so much older, being 7 now instead of being, 3 and 4 and 5. It was a little bit easier for her to be able to walk. And it wasn't that long of a walk, but I was kind of glad we did walk it, because being able to interact with the characters that they had sitting off to the sides. You had like Goofy and Pluto, you had Chip and Dale on the other side. And yeah, you drive by, you see them, but as we're walking, they're interacting with each other. Like Pluto and Goofy and their handlers are like calling over to the other one's handlers, and they're pretending to throw things at each other. It was just like, I don't know, it was cool to just stop and look a little bit, get some photo ops and everything. And it's not a long walk at all. And it's gorgeous too. It's just absolutely beautiful.
I love that walk, and there's some really good pictures you can get of the ship as well. And
absolutely.
Plus, if you do that walk, then you get an extra dessert that night. So
there it is. Absolutely. You have another cookie.
Does Brooklyn have a favorite character?
Yeah, she does. She does like Minnie. She likes Mickey. She loves the princesses. Obviously, Rapunzel. We had another great interaction with her on the ship, and the princesses for sure. She's really into Cinderella and Rapunzel mainly.
Okay, I love seeing Donald and Pluto for some reason.
He's mine. Donald's my favorite. So yeah,
they were both out there as you did that walk out towards the beach and everything like that. So how'd you guys spend the day on Castaway Key?
We just we found a nice chair, and her at the age she's at now, it's she's kind of now more so I'm going in. I don't really need mommy and daddy to go into the water with me, so we just pulled the chairs up just enough to kind of sit in there with our feet in the water and let the waves set us a little bit, and she's just with her goggles for hours swimming away, and ordered some margaritas on the beach and just, relaxed. And then went and got lunch. It started to rain a little bit. The lines, she had me wait, and they went and grabbed food, and it started to rain. So they brought them all over to the side to kind of be covered and everything like that. And the lines were a little long, probably because they were trying to space it out and everything, but the food was still decent. They always had a spicy chicken sandwich that I used to love, and they didn't have it this time. So I was a little disappointed in that, but other than that, the other food was still just as good as I remembered. Yeah, after we ate, we just went over to Heads Up. I love that bar out there, and I like watching everyone snorkel and everything like that. Sat out there, spent a little time, got Brooklyn a Sven smoothie or ice drink or whatever, and we just relaxed there for a little bit and then went back to the ship.
That is like one of my favorite places, going over to the heads up bar, like
I love
being able
it.
to see the ship. And like you said, looking out over, watch people snorkel and everything that. And getting you with Brooklyn too. Our kids, like, it's a good and a bad thing, because now that my kids know that they have those like different drinks and stuff like that, even at dinner time, they're ordering like specialty drinks. It's no more like, I just want a soda or something.
Exactly.
Like
Yep.
Don't you want a Sprite? The Sprite's really good on the ship.
Much better here. It tastes better here.
I want the smoothie extravaganza that they're selling.
Yep. Oh yeah.
I love that. So what a great day at Castaway for you guys. Okay, I got a couple questions for you.
Sure.
How about towel animals? Did you guys get some cool towel animals in the room this time?
We did. We got a couple. Yeah, we did get some cool ones. I had one. I couldn't tell if it was a swan or what it was. I don't know. It just had a massive long neck. I had no idea what it was, but it was great to see. Yeah, they hang them up and do the monkey hanging and stuff. There was all sorts of different ones that were really, really fun to see.
We get the creepy guy. Have you seen that one before?
Yes, I have seen that one. I have. It is creepy. I hear you.
You had my sunglasses on and everything.
Yeah. That's it. Yeah. They put the sunglasses on. Absolutely.
Oh man. So don't leave your sunglasses out, because if they see your sunglasses, they'll give you the creepy guy, I guess, or
yes,
something
they
like
will.
that. So, and we talked about characters a little bit. Any other thoughts about the character interactions about the show? I felt like there was like tons of them.
Yeah, that didn't diminish, and I was worried about that, because that's the one thing. Every cruise that we have had, there's always been something, whether it was Peter Pan taking her, Goofy doing a private mini golf lesson with her. And we always had something. So we were wondering, gosh, I hope there's characters. But I mean, we saw like Jessie walking around. We saw, she kept seeing Rapunzel, and she loves Rapunzel. Rapunzel took her, walked around, asked her what she wants Santa to bring her for Christmas. Talked about a guitar and how she loves to play the guitar, and then walked her over towards a tree and just took a random picture with her by the tree. We came out of it and we saw Encanto was playing in the theater, which is a great movie, by the way. Got to sit in there and watch that. And then as we came out, just walking out, there's Hook and Smee just hanging out, taking pictures at 10 o'clock at night. It's just, it's still random. You still walk around and you never know who you're going to see, which is a huge selling point to me for children and, just adults that like seeing, the characters around. That just adds to it. And they are everywhere. They definitely didn't skimp on that at all.
I remember your story about her playing Goofy Golf with Goofy there, and what a magical moment and everything like that.
Absolutely.
So, and did she get the guitar for Christmas?
She did. She got a nice pink one with Taylor Swift stickers now all over it, and she's singing away in her room every day.
Nice, I love it. Yep. She's gonna follow Taylor's footsteps.
That's the plan.
So. All right, well, cool. So, Chris, anything else that we didn't talk about as far as you guys' experiences on the Disney Fantasy, Very Merrytime aspects, or anything about the cruise that we haven't talked about so far?
It was not so much. It was just. I don't know, like it was like we were saying, like we've been waiting so long, and it was like anticipation was building and building and building, and you just want to get on a ship. And it was like, man, you couldn't even have anything. Just being there and just seeing Mickey Mouse stand there, like it was awesome. Like there's no real, I don't know. Everyone seemed like they were in a good mood. It seemed like a little bit of a different vibe. And like I said, the cast members always great, but I felt like even this one, they were just really, really good. I mean, we did bingo a lot. And they have cast members in there are just fantastic. They're so fun, so engaging. Everyone we ran into were very engaging, very nice, very helpful. Like I said, always have a smile on their face. And it's truly, unless you do a Disney cruise, it's like you could say it, but you don't quite understand it. That's kind of where I'm hoping to show, because my mother's going to come on me with our next one. So I'm looking to finally show her what I've been gushing over for the last few years.
I think for all of us that have been on, that one cruise, second cruise, or whatever cruise you're on, that feeling, what you're talking about, just, with the cast members, the smell of the ship, all of those little touches and everything that
absolutely
kind of draw you back. And I'm just so happy for you and your family to have experienced that as well. So let me ask you this final question before we finish up. Do you guys, being in Florida, do you guys take advantage of the onboard booking credit that you can do on board, or do you just wait for the Florida residency rates?
Yeah, typically we don't book on board just because we do get such good rates. I mean, this last one, like I said, we booked it after we got off just because we weren't sure exactly what we wanted to do. Yeah, the Florida resident rates, they're so good, especially now. So that's why we always typically wait for the Florida resident rates, because they always usually come out a couple months beforehand.
What a great opportunity or advantage that you guys have down there to be able to take advantage of that, especially if you can be flexible and, the last kind of minute to
absolutely,
like, hey, we're like, let's just wait and see what opens up in July or whatever month you're kind of looking 100%. At to see what you can do. Well, cool. Well, I know that you have something else booked because you just said earlier that your mom's going to come with you on this one.
Yes.
What's next for you and your family, Chris?
We're going to do a 4-night. It's going to be a little different. It's going to Castaway first, then Nassau, then a day at sea. Still a day at sea at the end, which is a prerequisite. If I'm doing a 4-night, I need that day at sea at the end. But it's having my mom come in. So, being able to the grandma, us and granddaughter, it's going to be completely different. Even though I feel like we've done this before, to have someone else new come on with you that's never done one before. To me, it's almost like doing it for the first time. It's seeing how my mom reacts to it, and then her seeing her granddaughter and being with her son and stuff. So we're over the moon excited that she's going to come with us. So it's it's going to be incredible. We're really excited.
Do you guys have 2 different cabins then?
I do. So, cause there was also Florida resident rates. So I booked me in one with my mom, and then I put Brooklyn and my wife in another one, but I'll go over and be with them and just leave my mom in that cabin. But the price difference, I mean,
right.
insane difference. So
you got to do it that way, right?
Got to do it that way. That's what you got to do. But it was great. Yeah.
Well, I'm super excited for you guys to be able to do that. And what a great itinerary too, having that sea day on a 4-day as your last day rather than doing Castaway and coming back to Port Canaveral. That's like the perfect career. So I wish you guys all the best. I am super excited for you. And please, when you guys get back, reach out, and we'd love to hear about your guys' experiences, especially sailing with your mom for the first time. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, absolutely. We'll reach out. Thank you.
All right. Well, Chris, thank you so much for all you've done for our podcast. Thanks for coming back the 3rd time. I wish I had like some kind of jacket or something like that. I could give out to you guys. Amber down there in Florida, good. She's like, she jokes with me that's like, after like so many times, I need to start giving out some different things for you guys. But thank you so much.
DCL Club,
DCL. I need to step up my game here a little
bit. You're good. You're great.
Yeah. No, thank you so much, Chris.
Absolutely. Thank you.
And all the best to you. All the best to you. We'll talk to you before football season. Hopefully next year. We'll see how that unfolds. But once again, thanks, Chris, for coming back, and we'll see you next time when
absolutely
you get back to your next Disney cruise.
Talk to you soon.
Well, that's going to wrap up our show today. Once again, I really want to thank Chris for coming back on and sharing his and his family's experiences as he sailed on the beautiful Disney Fantasy this past Christmas on a Very Merrytime cruise. And although our focus right now is on the summer of 2022 and also booking summer dates for 2023, there are still plenty of Halloween on the high seas and Very Merrytime cruises available to book in 2022. And the next release for 2023 will feature those Very Merrytime cruises as well. It was definitely a cruise that our family enjoyed as well, and we definitely look forward to getting on back one of those Very Merrytime cruises soon. Well, if you've enjoyed this show and know others who would enjoy it as well, we sure would appreciate it if you pass it along. That helps us get it a little bit better known in the Disney cruising, and just the Disney podcasting community in general. And if you have time to go over to iTunes and leave us an iTunes review, we sure would appreciate that. That also helps get the show noticed a little bit better when people search for Disney cruising podcasts. As always, we'd like to thank our Patreon supporters. They help bring you this show each and every week ad-free. If you'd like to find out more about our Patreon program, you can go to patreon.com/DCL podcast and find out all the information there. Well, between now and our next show, if you are heading down to Walt Disney World, heading out on a Disney cruise, or getting ready for an Adventures by Disney, on behalf of myself, Steve, Christy, and Chris, all of us here at the DCL podcast, we want to wish you to be well, enjoy time with family and friends, and we'll see you next time on the DCL podcast.
The DCL podcast is not affiliated with the Disney Cruise Line, Walt Disney Company, Adventures by Disney, or Run Disney. All of the opinions expressed on our shows are those of the hosts and the guests who appear on the show. If you have any questions about any of these products, please contact the Walt Disney Company.